Oh man, buying your first camera. I had no clue what the heck I was doing when I first bought my camera. I got mine from a pawn shop. It was shady, and I'm surprised the thing worked. Buying your first camera as a beginner is completely overwhelming, especially in today's market. You're probably asking yourself, what camera system do I buy into? What's the right body that I need? What's the best beginner lens that I should buy? Do I need filters? What about an APS-C or a full frame camera? I totally get it. Plus, camera gear nowadays is extremely expensive, and that adds to the stress as well. But with all that in mind, today I thought I would give you a few things to consider before buying your first camera, especially if you're on a budget. Be honest with yourself with what you actually need. Ask yourself, what are you going to be using this camera for? And that's really going to kind of dictate where you start your search. If you're just going to be taking pictures of family portraits and stuff like that where you're on family vacation, then you really don't need a $3,000 camera. I mean, unless you have the money and you want to just go crazy, then go ahead. A point and shoot will work just fine. The technology in those things are amazing. But if you're planning on shooting sports, street photography, portraits, are you going to be shooting video? Do you want to do both? These are all those things that you need to keep in mind when you're actually looking for that first camera. Don't buy the latest and greatest. Buy used. I know it's tempting to buy the latest and greatest gear because it's got all the cool knobs and stuff to play with, but you're starting off and those features you might not even use. That's just basically a waste of money for you. Instead, consider looking into older versions of that camera body and then buy that used. Those camera bodies are still going to take amazing, high quality images, and looking at those images, ain't nobody going to know that you took that with an older body. The same goes for lenses. No one's going to know that it's got a mark on it, a scratch on it, if it's a little bit dirty, anything like that. When they're looking at the images, no one's going to be able to tell that you took that picture with a used lens. Well, except for you and your wallet. There's a big market out there for used gear. You could get it at B&H, KEH, Adorama. You can go to a local camera shop. They'd be more than happy to sell you used gear. Plus, the gear's been vetted so that you know that it works. Focus on lenses over your camera body. Lenses are where the magic happens, people, not the camera body. If you're wanting to get that blurred out, beautiful bokeh background, try to say that a few times fast. Get yourself a 2.8 aperture lens or lower, but keep in mind, the lower that aperture, the more expensive that lens is going to be. If you want to get wide sweeping vistas of landscapes, get yourself a wide. If you like compression, like myself, then buy yourself a little bit longer focal length so that you can get that compression. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because the technology in camera bodies change all the time. Lenses, on the other hand, they don't. If you buy a damn good lens today, it's still going to be a damn good lens in about 5 years, unless you break it. The good thing about lenses is there are numerous brands out there that create high quality glass, and usually it's cheaper than the native glass from Sony, Canon, or Nikon. Plus, it is always so difficult to be able to choose that first lens, but let me suggest the 24-70. And here's why. You're new to photography. You don't really have the greatest idea of what it is that you're wanting to shoot. I started off wanting to shoot macro photography. Now I'm shooting lifestyle. I haven't shot macro photography in years. Maybe you want to shoot landscapes, but you fall in love with portraits. Who knows? But with the 24-70mm, you have wides in the front end, so you can shoot all of those landscapes or what have you. Then you have your 50mm in the middle of that focal range. That's great for portraits, street photography, or just a regular walking around focal length. Then you have the 70 at the end of that. You can get compression shots, so you have a wide range to play with, so you can get a better idea of what your shooting style is going to be like. I have the Tamron 28-75mm 2.8, and it has been my workhorse for the past 4 years. Now, you can go online and you can buy that lens for a hell of a lot cheaper than what I bought it for new, used. Just saying. Rent it before you buy it. If you're still on the fence about buying that camera setup, then go rent it and test it out. You might find out that you love it. Hell, you might find out that you hate it. And that's better to know that now before you drop all that money on something that you ain't gonna like. A lot of camera shops and a lot of local gear rental places will be more than happy to rent that out for you for a week. So go, give them a call. Go rent something, go have fun. Consider getting something that you can grow into. You might have heard this, but amazing gear does not make an amazing photographer. Practicing the art of photography does. So when you're looking to buy that new camera, look to get something that you know you can grow into, because as you grow and you're learning what you like to shoot and what gear you like to shoot with, then it's kind of justified to spend large amount of money on better gear. Plus, I think the less money that you spend up front as a beginner just lowers the barrier of entry so that you can start getting into photography. Plus, the money that you save, you can buy photography classes, go on a photography trip, or in this day and age, buy groceries. But as always, my friends, if you have any questions whatsoever about camera gear, photography, ask your questions down below. I usually answer every single comment that I get. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help as much as I possibly can. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I hope you're having an amazing week. May the force be with you, and I will see y'all in the next one. All right, bye.